Welcome back. This is Vampire Counts vs. Dwarfs, round 3, and it's the Vampire Counts' turn. At the start, my Raised Dead charged the flank of the warriors on the left side, and I only put one of them in base contact. It's kind of a cheap tactic. I'm not even sure if it's legal, but it did save me a lot of wounds from his side. Next, my Graveguard charged the flank of his warriors with a Thane, and then I move up the rest of my army. In the magic phase, my Staff of Damnation is dispelled. The Book of Archon is not, so I use that Van Hels's Dance Macabre on the Crypt Ghouls to push them out of the forest and put them in flank of his warriors. So now his warriors are in combat with Crypt Ghouls, zombies with Corpse Cart, and Raised Dead zombies. Next, I attempted to Invocation of the Heck on the Raised Dead that's in combat with the Bolt Thrower crew, and that was an irresistible force, so I got a lot of more zombies there. In combat, he destroys my Dire Wolves. But in the combat with the Bolt Thrower versus the Raised Dead, I won combat res, so he fled with those. In the big combat with the zombies with Corpse Cart, Raised Dead zombies, and Crypt Ghouls versus Warriors, he did a pretty good amount of wounds, but I still win with combat res, and so he fled with those. Crypt Ghouls attempted to pursue, but they failed to catch them. In the battle between the Graveguard and the Longbeards, I lost the combat, so I elected to crumble wound Vlad von Karstein. He took 2 wounds, so he has 1 wound remaining. I wasn't too worried about him dying because he has the von Karstein ring. Dwarf side.
Alright, in my turn, everything rallied. I fired another grape shot at the zombies and dealt 6 wounds. The Rune of Wrath and Ruin strikes again as a normal rune and deals 2 more wounds to those Cairn Wraiths. I had my Thane issue a challenge to Vlad von Karstein, but he is killed by Vlad von Karstein, who regains 2 wounds from his Blood Drinker ability. With the remainder of that combat, we tied combat resolution. I lost my Battle Standard Bearer. That was a pretty heavy blow. And some more skeletons crumble and deal no wounds to my Longbeards.
Alright, round 4, Vampire Counts. Alright, my Crypt Ghouls start by charging the warriors. My remaining Cairn Wraith and Tomb Banshee charge the warriors that used to have the Thane, and the Raised Dead charge the cannon crew. The warriors have to take a terror test because they don't have the Thane anymore, and they fail it, so they flee, and they actually flew through the other unit of warriors, so they end up on the other side of the board there. My Graveguard elects to pursue, and they pursue into a fresh enemy, the Longbeards. After that, I just generally advance the rest of my units. In the magic phase, everything is either dispelled or unsuccessfully cast. In the combat between the skeletons and the Longbeards actually kill off my skeletons, and my Graveguard do some wounds to the Longbeards. The Graveguard win the combat, however, his Longbeards are immune to fear, so they don't have to auto-break, and they pass their break test. You'll also notice that the Graveguard have regained some models. It's due to Vlad von Karstein's Blood Drinker magic weapon. That's the end of my turn, so we'll move on to Dwarves.
Alright, I had my Thunderers charge the remaining Cairn Wraith and Tomb Banshee, which I should have done last turn. The Warriors rally. The remaining crew flees off the board. I tried to strike a Rune of Wrath and Ruin at Ancient Power again. I failed at striking, I drew too much power, and the Rune Lord was destroyed along with the Anvil Guards and the Anvil. The Rune Lord was my general, so I did break tests all around and everyone passed. In combat, the Wraiths crumbled from combat resolution with Thunderers, and the Longbeards flee into the zombies and are destroyed along with the Runesmith. So all in all, I lost 5 Dispel dice there, pretty bad.
Alright, round 5 with the Vampire Counts. At the start of the round, my Crypt Ghouls charged the warriors, my Raised Dead charged the other warriors, and the other Raised Dead charged the fleeing crew, and they destroy the crew. My Graveguard reformed toward the Thunderers, and my zombies with the Corpse Cart advance. In the magic phase, my Staff of Damnation is successful, so the Crypt Ghouls get an extra attack, and they only deal 1 wound, however. The Book of Archon is not dispelled, so I use the Dance Macabre on the Graveguard and charge the Thunderers. The Thunderers have to take a terror test because they haven't taken one from Vlad yet, and they fail, so they flee. I used Invocation of the Heck on that Raised Dead unit to add some more cushion there, and I successfully summoned Undead Horde behind his warriors there. I used Dance Macabre on the Fresh Horde and charged the warriors from the rear, so I have them pinned there. In combat, his warriors do some good wounds here and there, but they lose combat resolution, and so they have to flee automatically due to fear, and they flee into a fresh enemy and they're destroyed. So here goes the Dwarves.
Alright, in my turn, the Thunders rallied and reformed facing the Graveguard, and the remaining warriors dealt 2 wounds to the zombies, and some of the other raised dead crumbled from high combat resolution.
Alright, round 6 for the vampire counts. My Graveguard charged the Thunderers, and the Undead Horde and Crypt Ghouls reformed towards the other warriors over there, and just other general movements. The Dwarves decide to surrender, recording another grudge in the Great Book of Grudges. Now we'll do a little bit of wrapping up, talk about some strategies, what went wrong, what we could have fixed. Alright, this is Lee. I played the Vampire Counts Army. This is my first time using 2,000 points, but I think I could have gotten rid of my Cairn Wraiths and that Tomb Banshee. They were fun to mess around with, but if I had more core units, I could have just, piled around them more. Also, I should have protected that Vampire more, the one that was in the skeleton units that died.
I'm Jay. I played the Dwarfs. I should have changed formation on the Thunderers a lot earlier than I did, and then charged the Cairn Wraiths in the subsequent turn, because I knew I was going to beat him in combat resolution anyway. I would have had an extra rank, a standard, and outnumber, since he only had 4 units and 4 models and no standard. Also, I shouldn't have challenged Von Karstein with my Thane, also Battle Standard Bearer. That was a mistake, because my Battle Standard Bearer died, and my unit became very puny. I lost a point of combat resolution given to all units within 12 inches. I should have just allocated wounds to Von Karstein, and just like I did with the Vampire and the Skeleton unit.
All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up and subscribe.